Welcome to the voice of St. Anthony Parish from Allston, Massachusetts, right here on WROL, 950 AM, 100.3 FM. And you can also hear us at CatholicAudiomedia.com. That's CatholicAudiomedia.com. And we are here every single Monday through Friday at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and then it drops on your favorite podcast platform. Just look for Catholic Audio Media and scroll through until you see the voice of St. Anthony Parish. And, of course, you can find us at CatholicAudiomedia.com. Well, I've been talking this week about a pastoral ministry and how to deal with it. One of the misunderstandings of pastoral ministry, as I said towards the end of the program, is if someone is having a struggle with a sin, then to tell them that it's not a sin. That's not the way it works. That's what many people think. And pastoral ministries are, well, if you're having a struggle with it, then it's not a sin. No, that's not it. It's to be able to communicate the truth of what the church teaches in a way that the person can understand within their own life and deal with and address and live in their, remember that big word I used, actually 3 words, sits and Laban, their situation in life. So, for example, I obviously know a lot of theology. I don't consider myself a super expert on theology. I don't have a doctorate in it, and I don't teach it at a seminary. But I know enough. I know in preparation for homilies, I do a lot of study, so I learn a lot that way. And so there's a lot of information I know. But I'm not expecting a married couple who are dealing with the example we've been using this week, their 15-year-old son who's having trouble with alcohol, drinking alcohol. I don't expect them to know every document or enough and know what Pope Leo XIII said in 1887, and I don't expect any of that. I'm expecting them to try to understand how they, as a good couple, Catholic couple, can address this issue with their son. And that's taking and helping them to bring what we understand in the faith to their situation in life. Now, one of the things that might be interesting, and I kind of brought this up twice this week, and I just realized this might be a good way to address it. I mentioned to you that I had absorbed from school, and I'm not saying anyone said this to me, it's just a message that I absorbed, that it was useless for me to go to college because I would never be able to get into college. Now, I will say this. I did get into college. I got into UMass Boston, but I didn't do well until after I did my time in the Navy, came out, and I aced everything. So I needed discipline. So there was a certain truth to that, but not a complete truth. And so one of the things that is I absorbed this idea that I wouldn't make it into college. And because of that, I really didn't pay attention to filling out that many applications because I thought it was a waste of my time. Why would I want to fill out an application if, according to them, I would never make it in college? And these kind of things to look at. Well, if you're listening carefully, if this was a situation in your family and you're listening to carefully, one of the first questions you if you understood it, is to say, who told you wouldn't make it after high school? Where did you get that message? And why are you believing that? And bring it in within the faith. God has a special purpose for you. We don't know what it is, but it's certainly not that you have nowhere to go after you graduate from high school. Do you understand that? And that would be an example of pastoral ministry, listening, what's going on, what's happening, and what is a message that this person is receiving that may be inaccurate. Now, I told you the first sign that message that I was absorbed in high school, remember, I didn't say anyone necessarily said it to me, but that first message I absorbed in high school, I realized was wrong when I got my SAT scores back and saw that I was in the top fifth of the class. I was shocked. But you can see by listening and bring that message. Now, what did I tell you earlier in the week? What is the last line, or almost the last line in the baptism rite? It is, may the Lord touch your ears to hear his word and your lips to proclaim his faith to the praise and glory of God the Father. So, say, for example, you're dealing with someone who has a drinking problem because they feel there is no hope for me, there's nothing for me after high school, there's nothing. Wait a minute. You have a mission that was given to you at your baptism. And the Lord is going to give you the tools to do that mission. Now, maybe part of that mission may be as something you want to be in the future, but you look at that mission and you have that mission. That mission is there because everyone who is baptized get that message. So this message that you're receiving that says there's no hope for you after high school, there's nothing for you after high school, is a lie. You see, that would be an example of pastoral ministry. That's a lie. And you really cannot believe that because it's a lie. We'll talk more on the other side of the break. You're listening to the voice of St. Anthony Parish from Allston, Massachusetts, right here on WROL. Life can be challenging, but amidst the trials and tribulations, there is wisdom to be found. Welcome to Sirach 2, a chapter filled with timeless guidance and insights from the book of Sirach. In this chapter, we learn the importance of remaining steadfast in our faith, even in the face of adversity. It teaches us to be patient, for trials can shape our character and lead to spiritual growth. Seeking wisdom and understanding is of utmost importance. Sirach 2 reminds us to study the teachings of the wise, be open to correction, and follow God's commandments. By doing so, we can find true fulfillment and blessings. Don't be discouraged by the temporary prosperity of the wicked or the challenges you may face. Trust in God's justice, for he rewards those who diligently seek him. Join us on this journey of faith as we discover the path to a meaningful and fulfilling life. Sirach 2 is your roadmap to wisdom, patience, and eternal blessings. Read Sirach 2 and let its timeless wisdom guide you through life's ups and downs. Available now in the book of Sirach, part of the Old Testament. Brought to you by the voice of St. Anthony Parish in Allston. We're back, and we're talking about that example of pastoral ministry and how to address issues from a pastoral perspective. So what I was saying before the break is, you know, in my own case, that message that I absorbed in high school that there really was no hope for me after high school. Well, then that pastoral ministry would say, wait a minute, that's not what we believe. There is absolutely no truth to that. And that's an important aspect why we're taking this message of the faith. Now, so if I were to explain that, now what I was saying earlier in the week of what's a way not to explain it? Well, it's really simple. You're getting drunk, that's a sin. You get drunk and you die, you're going to end up in hell, so you have to stop drinking. That's never going to work. And it won't. And what it will do, not that anyone gave that message to me, by the way, but I understood that, you know, getting drunk was wrong and stuff like that. So how did I deal with it? Really simple. I left the church. There you go. Oh, it's a sin if I drink and get drunk. Simple solution. Don't just walk away from the church. And that's what I did. I came back many years later and I quit drinking. I mean, you know, that you see that radical difference. I quit drinking. I started to come back to the church while I was drinking. That helped me to turn away from drinking, and I came back to the church. And then I learned this huge message that I never understood before because it was the time. It's not that people didn't teach it or anything else. It was the time. And what I mean that it was after Vatican II, people still trying to understand what the church was teaching and in light of Vatican II, and so it was a turbulent time. But you see what I'm saying? There is a response to that. And this is where pastoral ministry is essential. It's really, and this is where I go with this. This is why I get really frustrated with some of the online ministries that I really don't like. And I'll be honest with you, because they're involved in teaching this is a sin and people have to understand this is a sin and Well, there's a truth to that, but you need to see the bigger picture. And that is where pastoral ministry comes in. And always be careful that say the example I gave earlier in the week, the aspect of me drinking was an activity called self-medication. I was drinking because it was a way I was dealing with all the struggles I was dealing with as a teenager. So I was drinking then, and therefore my drinking was a symptom. It wasn't, it was a problem, but it was also a symptom. So the problem was somewhere else. And the problem came in, which ended up being solved when I was in the Navy, when I came to realize that horrendous message that I absorbed in school was wrong. And again, I'm not saying anyone said that to me, but that was the message I absorbed, was wrong. And then once I got in the Navy and I was able to see that message turn into a lie, that I was able to say, oh, I want nothing to do with that message. And everything that was a part of it came out of the Navy, and I was acing everything in school. So do you see that total? I was acing things in school, by the way, because you have to go through a lot of school in the Navy. And that was a difference. But what was solved there was the symptom was solved when the problem was solved. So if you're doing pastoral ministry, you want to find out what the problem is. Don't address the symptom, because if you address the symptom, you're not going to address anything. You're going to fail at it because the problem is still there. It's kind of like that whole aspect, which maybe I'll talk. I'll tell you a great story tomorrow that will help us understand some of this and actually talk about some other aspects of this. We'll talk more tomorrow, as I promised. In the meantime, have yourself a blessed day, and we will see you then, right here on WROL. I want to call your attention to Catholic TV, which offers great faith-filled, family-friendly programming 24 hours a day. You can find your cable channel at www.getcatholictv.com, and you can watch online on the free apps or check out the YouTube channel. Daily Mass, Rosaries, the Divine Mercy Chaplet, and the Our Lady of Perpetual Help Novena are all available online and on demand. Check out CatholicTV.com. If you're searching for a meaningful spiritual experience, look no further than St. Anthony's Parish in Allston, Massachusetts. Join us at 43 Holton Street in between Soldiers Field Road and the Mass Pike. Immerse yourself in the complete St. Anthony's Parish encounter through our 10 o'clock a.m. chanted Mass. Whether you're a Catholic seeking a parish to call home or someone looking for spiritual guidance, our welcoming community is here for you. Visit our website at www.stanthonyalston.org for more information. St. Anthony's Parish, where faith finds a home.